It's your hot dog host, Twan, and we're going to find out today what happens when East Coast eats meets West Coast vibes. It's a pastrami thing, and this is the Hot Dog Show. So tell us, how did you come up with the idea for Pastrami Stand out here on the West Coast?
So it actually started off as a hot dog stand.
Okay.
I've been in the restaurant business my entire life, since I was 16 years old. And, when life got tough, or, the struggle with the job and the family and the kids and all the pressure, I used to say, I'd just be happy with a hot dog stand. So this whole idea was born out of a hot dog stand, but I knew I couldn't survive as a business with just hot dogs, right? So I wanted to find something that, in this day and age, can be easily trained, easy to put together, not labor intensive, and that was hard to find, had its own little niche, and pastrami was it. And I've been a fan of deli, specifically pastrami, since probably I was 8 years old when I went to my first deli in New Jersey with my family, and every time I go to Chicago, New York, LA, a deli is one of the stops.
It's one of my favorite things too. I love hitting sandwich shops, and then of course when you're hitting sandwich shops, especially if you're going to New York and New Jersey, Chicago, you got to hit up the dogs as well. All right, we're going to get to pastrami, the star of the show, a little bit later. But first, we're going to give a dog that rarely gets any love. It's the naked dog. Howard, you're going to make a naked dog for us?
Absolutely.
All right, I like my dog with a little mustard and a little onion. And then if you've got the celery salt, I noticed that. I'd like a little bit of that too.
Do that too. As long as you're not getting ketchup on it, I'm cool.
That's right, yeah. Ketchup does not belong on a dog above a certain age. Can you tell us what it is?
8 years old.
8 years old.
That's the cutoff.
That's the cutoff.
Yep.
All right. I love your camp, man.
Yep.
So I can't wait to taste this dog. Let's get it.
Let's go.
So I take it you've spent some time out on the East Coast. You're from the East Coast originally?
I'm originally from Illinois.
Oh, right on.
Thus, one of the dogs we serve is a Chicago dog.
Right on.
Worked in Chicago, lived in Chicago. I spent a lot of time in New York. Had a son that lived there. Had clients, there when I worked in the restaurant business. So I was there often. So I had the connection to both.
That's great. I was going to ask you about that. The Poppy Seed Bun. I was like, that's got some Midwest ties for sure.
For sure. I mean, one of the things about the...
Oh yeah, the celery salt.
One of the things about the Pastrami Stand is... There you go, my friend.
Oh man.
Is I just wanted everything to be as authentic and as genuine as possible, and take whoever's eating it back to their childhood. The little story about the Poppy Seed Bun is the Poppy Seed Bun was created by Sam Rosen in the 1920s. And he was a baker entrepreneur that landed in Chicago. And, the Frankfurter, which is an all pork sausage dog in its own natural casing, that was brought over from the Germans. When all the immigrants landed, in Chicago, they all kind of congregated on Maxwell Street, but Chicago was the meat capital of the world. It's where the stockyards are. So the meat packers took this Frankfurter idea and started to make all beef hot dogs in natural casings.
Right. Sam
Rosen felt there wasn't a bun that effectively fit the beef hot dog. So folklore tells me that Sam Rosen used this exact size hot dog that we use to make that bun, and we use his bun.
That's awesome.
So for me, the history of it kind of like connects all the dots to have this authentic dog.
Yeah, there's great history behind the hot dog and how it became an American classic. That's one of the things I love about it as well. Like back in the times when they were going through the Depression and all the different things,
Right.
and that's how the Chicago dog
Yes.
was born. All of these things. It's just amazing how much the hot dog is intertwined in American culture. You didn't know you were going to get a history lesson
history,
today.
there you go.
But this guy knows his hot dogs.
Yeah, and that you're right. The Chicago dog was born out of the Depression. You know, it was I think it was a nickel, right,
Yeah.
from all the hot dog carts, and you know people didn't have a lot of money, so they wanted to make it as much of a meal as possible.
Right.
So they put the garden on top of it, right, and that's kind of how the Chicago dog was born.
Howard, so you're going to make a classic for us, another classic, chili cheese dog. Tell us a little bit about this hot dog.
So this takes me back to my childhood. I grew up in Peoria, Illinois. There was one hot dog stand, you know, the classic one with the wooden barrel of root beer at the edge of the bar.
I know it well.
And then they just great chili dogs. So I know I just added my own little twist with my homemade cheese whiz, which is not for the faint of heart. It's not for kids. It's got a bit of a kick to it.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Good.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, while we're on the subject of chili, you were saying that you get the chili, it comes from a butcher that you use, right?
Yep. So I use a butcher in LA, third generation butcher. I've known the family for years. And they help with the pastrami too. So
great.
They procure the meat, they trim it out, they brine it to our specifications, they hand rub it, they hook it, they smoke it, and then I go pick it up.
Oh, man.
So the chili comes from the butcher who takes all of his meat trimmings and makes the meat base for the chili.
That's incredible. I can't wait to try it. We're steaming the buns up right on top of the dogs, which is great. And so, in addition to the Poppy Seed Bun, you're also using a really well-known hot dog.
Yes. Yep. So we use an all-beef, natural casing Vienna hot dog.
Yeah.
The real deal. Homemade cheese whiz.
Oh man, that's some velvety smooth cheese whiz, man. Love it.
Here's that all-beef chili.
Look at that. And the beef is rendered down perfectly so that you get more of a chili sauce versus like that chunky beef. This is going to be a fantastic dog. I'll tell you what, I got to go with some onions on top of that. You can't have a chili dog without onions. Oh, the velvety goodness of this chili and this cheese together with the bite of these onions. This is a dog that's not going to disappoint, I'll tell you that right now. All right, it is the dog I have been waiting all night for. This is the name of the stand. It's the Pastrami Stand, and this is the Pastrami dog. I can't wait to taste this thing. So, while you're making this up, you were telling us about this process that pastrami goes through. Can you tell us a little about what you got going here?
Yeah, so this is the best of both worlds. There's a lot of people that come and say, God, I can't decide if I want a hot dog or pastrami. So we just decided to put some pastrami piled high on a hot dog. Maybe.
I was doing hot dogs the other night, and I was like, man, I can't find the opening for the bun. It was like,
it's elusive at times.
yeah, it escapes us.
So, deli mustard.
And I noticed you're using a specific kind. It's not this is not a cheap deli mustard. It's a good deli mustard.
Tante out of New York.
Oh yeah.
Some pickles, chopped pickles on top.
Nice.
Make sure you get like a crunch in every bite. So this pastrami is the traditional pastrami, so it's the navel. It's got a really nice fat cap. It's got good marbling. We steam it. And then we plant it right there on top of the hot dog.
That there is some fantastic meat on meat action. This is gorgeous. You can see the brine gives it a nice red flavor along with the smoke. Makes the meat really juicy, and I can't wait to try this with the Vienna beef underneath it. It's going to be a fantastic bite. We'll get to that in just a sec. So Duckfoot Beer is a long-standing anchor in the San Diego craft beer community. We're going to go in and get some beers to wash down all these awesome dogs. So we've got our classic naked dog with mustard, onion, and a little bit of celery salt. We're going in. The snap of that all beef dog is absolutely great. And when you don't have a lot of toppings like that, you can really taste all the beef coming through on the shot. It's a delicious dog. And that Poppy Seed Bun is just perfect amount of softness with this hot dog. All right, next up on the list is the velvety smooth chili dog with his homemade queso, which he said wasn't for the faint of the heart. So I'm going in on this one. Wow. I can't even talk. That dog is so good. The chili, the bite of the sauce, the creaminess of the queso that's on there is so good. What a great dog. Definitely want to eat the rest of this, but it's time for the star of the show, and that's the pastrami dog. We got the chopped pickles, we got the pastrami, we got this beautiful meat on meat action. I'm going in.
Ooh.
That was worth the wait, folks. That is so good. That pastrami on top, the crunch of the pickle, that killer deli mustard that he put in there. Man, I can't wait to take more bites of this thing. All three of these are winners. You want to go simple, you want to get a little more complicated with this chili and the queso, and then when you go all in with the meat on meat pastrami dog, it's a killer dog. This is worth it. This is the star of the show. Come to the Pastrami Stand and check out the pastrami dog. All right, we've had a great time hanging with the Pastrami Stand here at Duckfoot Beer Company. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss out on any of the fun. Hit the bun. Hit the bun.
Would you slather me in mustard and eat me? If you're really hungry.